Okay, my goal is to go through a video here using a bunch of people from the gym. I appreciate Lindley helping me out here and everybody else. For you to see flaws in these videos, for me to point out flaws and the corrections to make to them. And obviously all the coaches, any and all the coaches are available to help if you see any of these issues you might be having with any of your faults or flaws that you're having and how to correct them. All right? So don't be afraid to ask for help from anyone if you need it. Okay, we're going to get started in a minute here. All right, so what we got here is my man Dan Freeman, and what we see here is the heel kick. Okay, so we're going to see I'm going to play this clip a few times. We're trying to act like we're jumping on a diving board, and when you're heel kicking like that, immediately what that's going to do is create a bad position for that rope, unable to get through. See how high he's jumping, kicking his heel. I'll show you another clip of kind of what I'm looking for here. Now what we have here is Tara and Gina in the background jumping with single unders. But you can see their jump is very controlled. They're jumping up and down as if they're jumping on a diving board. They're not kicking their heels. They're not pulling their knees up. They're just jumping and pointing their toes. Their feet are almost floppy. They're just jumping straight up and letting their feet hang. Where their flaw comes in is if the heel kick, that's not like jumping on a diving board. You don't have to explain why. You just don't want to do it. You would just want to jump straight up and down. Now you can see these single jumps should look exactly like your double jump. This is a double under jump with a rope going twice as slow. Okay, so that's what you want to concentrate on, making sure that you're keeping that relaxed foot jumping as if you're on a diving board. Okay, up and down, up and down. The next flaw we see is Jordan here, where he starts doing the knee pull. It's exactly the same. You wouldn't jump on a diving board by pulling your knees up. You can see how high he's jumping with that kind of pointed toe, but because he's pulling his knees up, he's landing real hard, and that's just overworking. That's another flaw we want to get rid of is the knee pull. No heel kick, no knee pull. What we have when you have a heel kick or a knee pull, like we have a heel kick going on here, is real loud pounding, and I want you to listen to this next clip. Hopefully you can hear that pounding of the feet on the floor as that heel kick. It causes you to almost kick the floor instead of just kind of receive. So my man Bruce here, he's so cute, look at the smile. So what's happening, he's got a rigid foot. So he's going to look at that single, how nice that single is, and then when he goes to his double, you can see how rigid his foot gets. He stops with the toe point at the bottom, and it's just going to mess him up. You can see it as he goes, again here on this next clip. You watch how he goes from single to double. Yeah, it should be coming up here in just a second. Doubles, rigid foot, rigid foot. Now that heel's getting closer and closer and closer to the ground, which makes it real tough to get back up off the floor again. You can see here, Dan has the same kind of rigid foot. So this one's not bad. He's got a much softer foot. You can see how the heels are staying away, but eventually that's going to fatigue, and those heels are going to get closer and closer to the ground, which just means that eventually he's probably going to miss. So you want to have a little bit more of a relaxed foot. The next one we have is Superstar Patty here. She's got a great rope, but the problem is that she does the animal jump with the knee-high heel kick. What ends up happening is that look how high she jumps. It's impossible to be able to get back up off the floor again. Neil used to have the exact same problem, and he's gotten rid of it. Look at that relaxed jump, relaxed foot, all that good stuff. Jumping on the diving board up and down. It's a nice, slow, controlled jump. Okay, it's just like his single jump. Next flaw we have is bird dogging. I don't know why I call it that. It's just when somebody jumps and all of a sudden they start kicking their toes out in front. Okay, so Amy here is helping us out. You can see how she hates being videotaped. You can see how when she jumps, when she goes into the double under, you can see the toes get kicked out in front, and that's a pretty common flaw. We obviously wouldn't jump on a diving board that way. Okay, so what you're going to see here in this next clip, you're going to see Chris as he starts a really good single jump. Look at that. That's a diving board single jump. He gets a little heel kick in here, but he gets rid of it. He realizes that's not right. And then on the next clip, there's a little bird dog right there. On the next clip, just watching where he goes from singles into doubles, you're going to see the flaw kick in here. When all of a sudden he starts trying his double unders, all of a sudden he starts kicking his toes out front. Okay, so we definitely want to do our best to get rid of that. How do we get rid of it? By jumping our singles really cleanly, by making sure that when we go into our double, All we try to do is jump like we jump our singles with our toes pointed, jumping on the diving board and not getting all of these different flaws mixed in with our feet. Okay? Now we start getting rid of moving up the body and going from jumping at the feet and what's going on with the hands. You can see Neil's hands are all over the place, right? Front, back, all over, right? We want to try to settle that whole thing down. And we do that, you can watch Chris in this next clip, how when he jumps, his hands are in the same place, okay? So we missed that because he obviously had a heel kick thing going on. But when you see him kind of start dialing it in, you're going to see the hands are kind of staying right in the same place. The only thing I don't like about Chris's hands is they're next to his body and not really out in front. I'd rather have them in your peripheral vision a little bit. So that's the next thing you want to get, is keep those hands in one place a little bit in front of you. Here's great hand positioning on single jumps with Tara. It's kind of out in front where she can kind of see it, just working the wrist, not the elbow too much. I have this next clip coming up here of Amina speaking about hip extension, triple extension of the hip, the same thing we do with kettlebell swings and Olympic lifting. Learned a lot about it at the Strongman seminar. Listen to Amina talk about hip extension here.
11 today, sorry. So this is going to help you jump by keeping your arms in the spine. Those of you that don't have double unders or bondage is because you are jumping, bending your legs. Your arms are still here, but you're still got this little, you're trying to bend your knees when you're in the air. When you're in the air, just like with any Olympic lift, you need to come to triple extension. So you need to have this open, and your ankles open. That's going to get you up. Before any Olympic lift, we have that power, right? So that's where the skill transfer is. So think about dipping and then jumping up as high as possible. All right? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I'm using Lindley as my example here. Hand slightly on front. Her heels are not hitting the ground. She's jumping with that relaxed toe point, jumping in the same place, getting that triple extension when she jumps for that brief moment. All right, you can see her feet, her heels are staying the same distance from the floor the whole time. That toe point's really important for that. And what I'm going to do next is, excuse me, I'm going to let you hear the sound of her jumping. Hopefully I can figure this out. Hopefully I can figure this out technologically by letting you hear the slow motion sound of her jumping. So hopefully I'm going to figure that out in this next clip by me just kind of shutting up here. So let's try to see if we can hear it. Okay, so what we hopefully heard was a kind of a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, not a bump 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 1-1-1-1-1-1. Okay, so it's not a machine gun. All right, there's a tempo to it that you're letting the rope do a little bit of the work. So that's pretty much what I got for double unders. Excuse me. Hopefully you also see Lindy's jumping pretty high for these double unders, but it's still working. And hopefully what you're getting out of this is seeing that the consistent jump, you could see the rhythm of her hands is kind of a 1-2, 1-2. The hands are in her peripheral, not moving forward and back too much. Her heels are staying away from the ground. And she's jumping up and down like she's on a diving board. She's not doing the heel kick. She's not ducking her toes forward, and it's sustainable. Something she could do for a while. All right, so as usual, hit us up with any questions you might have regarding this stuff, and good luck on Sunday.